what I wanted to briefly cover before we get down to the final sessions, the final breakout sessions, is a couple of pieces on the safety issues that we didn't get to, and then real quickly, I don't know, Paul, come on up. So for those of you who have not met our new Elite Girls Director, this is Paul Hennessy. Give him a round of applause. Thank you very much. And Paul also, besides jumping into a brand new job, agreed to run a couple of the sessions on the field for us, so I really appreciate that. And Paul, you had something that you wanted to provide to them as a resource.
Yeah, just I know the warm-ups are a little bit of one, what do we do, how do we do it, especially for people who do back-to-back sessions, multiple sessions. So from speaking with Paul Nicholson about how we do it, I know some of our teams have done it before, and we'd love to make it a bit more of a uniform thing that when our players arrive at the sessions, or particularly arrive at games, a 10-minute dynamic warm-up. So I kind of led it. I led one before with the players. I know there is a copy of it, which we've just updated a tiny bit. There's a copy of it online. I will upload it online this week so people can see it. What I'm going to do, I think, is give one of these out on the teams that I do to each of the players. Because the idea will eventually be, the older they get, to have the players actually run this, so that you can focus on the other stuff. You know, if you're finishing a session off, if you are just arriving at the game, if you are doing anything that really this would get in the way of, the players can do it. So what I'm going to do is, and feel free to, if you want to give it out to players, fantastic. You certainly don't have to, but you know, I'd really recommend taking one for yourself, putting it in your bag and keeping it on a week-by-week basis, and just referring to it if you want to do it every session, particularly for players older than 12. It's a fantastic way to eliminate some of the chances of injury, reduce some of the chances of injury, and just get players working and get players doing things as we arrive. So I'll leave these at the front. At the end of the session, if people want them, please feel free to take them. It will be on Playmetrics, accompanied with a video, but I'm a bit old school when it comes to this type of thing. Having this always helps. So
appreciate it. Thanks, Paul. All right, so now I'm going to bring up Budde, and Bobby's going to talk a little bit about field safety, field maintenance, and just in general, some of the field issues that you guys as coaches and trainers are going to be presented with when you're on site, whether it's for a game or training. Matt, do you want me to switch it out?
Yeah, that'd be great.
All right. Here you go, sweetheart.
You put it on.
Does this mean we're going together?
Oh. Hello, everyone. I'm Budde. I'm probably one of the most polarizing figures in the club because I'm either going to be a hero for you or cause a disaster. But I'm the one who all the way up to Xenia, Ohio, and it's a job. Right now, I'm answering questions on scheduling for OSSL, KPL, CPL, Buckeye, and all of you will be going through that, or your team admins. And I just ask for your patience and stuff in getting them done. I'll be working on them probably for the next 2-3 weeks on doing schedules. But if you have questions, definitely reach out. I have an easy email, Bobby, B-O-B-B-Y, @kingshammer.com, and I answer my emails. Otherwise, my phone number's on all the emails too. Feel free to get a hold of me by text or calling me. It's just on text. It might take me a while to respond because I get thousands. But I wanted to go over some of the things with facilities that are common throughout all facilities, all areas, whether or not it's somewhere like Town and Country, or if it's at a school in the area, or a private facility, or a county or city facility. A big thing you're going to be asked about is the emergency action plans, like we talked about before and had the demonstration with the AEDs. An emergency action plan is going to be published for each venue that we commonly use, for training particularly, and for some games. It'll be in the resources section in Playmetrics. We try to use Playmetrics to the fullest extent possible to keep information stored. So on that resources tab, it could be anything from a lockbox combination for a particular venue like St. Henry's, or just information on where the AED is located, and it'll probably be a copy of the emergency action plan once those venues provide those to me. It's going to take a while to get those all up to date because it's taking time to get all the information from those venues. But our hope is to use this season as the benchmark for getting this information there. So when parents ask you, hey, where's the defibrillator? You can answer that with confidence, or at least look it up. And like today, I urge you to talk to other coaches too and recommend that emergency action planning, emergency training. Having this knowledge and ready to go is going to be paramount in our future, because it's not just requested, it's demanded by our customer. As far as the venue maintenance and support, the coaches are to take command of managing each field resource they're on, whether it be a school or park. Ensure there's a safe environment for training and games. Before every training session, before every game, check your goals, make sure they're anchored. Just make sure that safety is paramount. Particularly here at Town and Country, they want to make sure, with as much as we move these goals, and it is our home facility, if you're using this facility, return the goals to the way they were. The same at every park. If the goals are in one position, if they're anchored, you're going to have to leave them in a lot of situations and not be able to move them around, like up north at the Warren County Sports Park. They don't want the 11v11 goals moved, but they have other goals on wheels that can be moved around. But particularly here at Town and Country, once you've moved things around, make sure they're anchored for the training session, and at the end, make sure they're moved back in the starting position. The other big complaint we've heard is do not leave trash, and pick up trash that others have left. Train your players, train your teams that we're proud of our homes, wherever we're at training, and we want to be good stewards. It's going to reinforce good habits for those players as they grow up and maybe even become coaches and have an influence on their teams and players. That's the way I was brought up, is, you know, where we were practicing at your home. So treat it like your home and make sure it's clean and it looks nice. And that's stuck with me for years. It's kind of gotten away from us and causing a lot of complaints from facilities who really don't care to rent to us anymore unless we show a change. So please make that infectious among your players, your parents, other coaches. Just get a environment going to where we can be good stewards of what we're using. And believe me, the venues and the management, like from Town and Country or any of the schools, the athletic directors, they know it, they see it. And when they see good things, they're more likely to say, hey, why don't you, like, I have a last minute game. Yeah, sure, why not? Those are the relationships I'm trying to rebuild for us, and it's working. I need help, though, from everyone in making that happen. There are some rules that are going to be published and sent out to everybody, particularly for Town and Country coaches, because they have certain guidelines they'd like to leave by, like putting the goals back at the end, making sure they're anchored, simply because they've had accidents happen here where a goal wasn't anchored with sandbags and a windstorm hit and blew a goal over. And it could hit a kid and the facility becomes liable at that point. So they want to extend that to us and just request that we help them maintain a safe environment. Just some examples are the weather policies. Make sure you adhere to those. Lightning, thunder, 30 minutes. Knowing where the AEDs are, like we talked about, knowing the goals are anchored, taking care of littering and picking up trash, no vehicles inappropriately driving inside a facility, and those will be under the resources tabs as well. But other than that, any other extra information will be sent out to everyone, but please use the resources tabs to see where this emergency information's at, so you have that at your disposal. All right, any questions? All right, good luck scheduling.
All right, thanks, Bobby. Appreciate it. So, real quickly before you get you back out onto the field, as Bobby mentioned, all of these resources. So, we were going to go over a little bit of heat awareness, because obviously, as we know today, that's going to be an issue getting into the early part of the season. We'll re-explore concussion awareness, and then also provide you a continued update about your required awareness and safety trainings. Right? So all of you, as carded coaches, need to be going through background checks, need to go through Safe Sport, and have all of your updates in that. And you know, it's a repetitive process. You do it a lot, but please don't ignore it. Your team cannot be carded if you haven't completed all that process. So while you think about, oh, well, we're not playing until September, we've got a late August turn. there's turnaround. So make sure that you're getting on that as that pops up quickly. Our club admin, primarily Kathy Mercurio, Lori Howard may be assisting her with that. We'll be notifying you if you've got stuff sitting and your cards can't be prepared because you're not ready. All of the safety stuff will be posted in the resources, and frankly, you're going to get emails from me that have all of that information with some guidelines in. There's also going to be stuff in next month's newsletter as well from me. The last thing before we exit here is just a reminder, and I hate having to jump on this soapbox, but it's factual. As a director, I've sent out a whole bunch of information to both coaches and PAs in the last month and a half, but specifically in this last week as we're getting into scheduling thing. Every time I send something out, I get at least 5 emails, text messages, or something asking me information that was just provided in an email, right? We need you guys to communicate with your teams, right? That's a part of your role as coaches, right? It's a part of one of the 6 tasks of a coach that you need to be completing. But just as importantly, we need you to read what we're emailing to you, right? We are trying to help you. I want to support every one of you, whether you're in the South Academy or you're in another programs. My aim is to support you, right? I can't support you if you're not helping yourself, right? We all need to help each other and start with ourselves first, okay? Appreciate it. Now.